Alice? Mother was thinking, and I do apologize for being so harsh earlier. I made you another egg, Alice. Alice? Dear?
This has got to be one of the most triggering pieces of horror media I have ever seen. And if you guys are not ready for that, then boy oh boy, this one's gonna hurt a little bit. I don't know what it's been with the YouTube algorithm lately, but boy oh boy, let me tell you, they've been looking out for me a lot lately. I mean, it's given me Hell is Cold, the Appalachian analog horror, and this. The most horrifying of them all. Before getting into that, though, I want to talk about the creator of this film for a little bit. They create these really immersive animations out of African life, which I've definitely seen quite a few memes of in the past, but my god, I have never seen it used this way ever before in my life. The short film that I'm going to be covering, it's called Mother, and it's actually a part of a two-part series on their channel, but I'm actually going to be leaving part 2 out of this video because I really want you guys to go and watch this series for yourselves and see what happens in part 2 because it's just that fucking good, and I wouldn't be doing it any justice if I spoiled the whole thing on this channel, so please do give it a watch. Without further ado, everyone, I'd like to introduce you to Mother. The video opens up with a shot of a house inside of an eerily desolate neighborhood. We are thrown into the film right away with the sound of stomping down a hallway and into one of the bedrooms. A door swings open and we can see a young girl fast asleep, or at least pretending to be asleep. A woman lingers in the doorway, pondering her next move before she harshly speaks.
Alice, get up. It's time for school. You're gonna be late.
Ew, go away, ew, get out of my head. I don't know if anyone else can understand this part, but it's literally the fucking stomping down the hallway and just the standing in the doorway for me. That's the part. That's the part for me. Ew, I'm gonna throw a hissy fit. Ew. The woman that I hesitate to call a mother hovers over Alice while she attempts to bathe, refusing to give her any form of privacy. She suddenly starts to rip at her hair, but blames her, saying that it was always her fault for not sitting still. The scene changes and now we're in a kitchen. Old-fashioned music plays over a radio, and the mother cooks a single egg in a frying pan. I don't want to play out the song here because copyright, but a few lyrics really stood out to me. It goes like this. I regret the day that I was born and that man of mine I've ever seen. This part of the song really seems to strike a nerve with the mother, but she remains silent. She approaches the girl with the single egg, instructing her to hurry up and eat, lest she be late for the bus. And an egg a day keeps the roaches away. That's what they always told me. Alice, the name of the girl, interjects. Just one egg? Oh, silly child. Now you've gotten her started. The mother goes on a rant about the importance of staying skinny and getting a husband, and that she better eat the portions that mommy gives her. Now, there seems to be something bothering the mother here, as there's very clearly tears in her eyes as she's saying this. Same with the girl, of course. I mean, she's probably shitting a brick right now. The mother threatens that if she has to take Alice to school, there's going to be a problem. Well, speak of the devil, the school bus drives by and doesn't even bother honking the horn. Boo! Least favorite character, boo! I fucking hate that bus. Stupid fucking bus. Stupid school bus. Well, Mother Dearest already warned her. Now she's really salty.
Uh-oh. Now look what you've done!
I'm sorry.
You know what this calls for, Alice? And Mother doesn't like to do it.
Corporal punishment reference, everyone. Yay! Yeah. The woman grabs Alice by the hair and drags her to the basement entrance, stating that now she can sleep down there with the roaches. Despite her cries, the mother doesn't listen. She tosses Alice down the stairs, causing her neck to snap and killing her instantly. While despite the roach infestation in the basement, Mother is busy sweeping up non-existent breadcrumbs off the floor upstairs. Just wait until they get inside the air vents, you stupid bitch. At this point, flies are already beginning to swarm, which indicates that by now, quite a bit of time has passed since she left Alice down in the basement. But Mother doesn't seem to notice. Not long after literally catapulting her daughter down the stairs like a fucking football, Mother has a change of heart. She opens the basement door, attempting to apologize, and coax her daughter out of the basement. Well, that went about as well as one would expect, because she's fucking dead. After all of that, though, Mother was kind enough to offer Alice another egg, which really honestly, I mean, kind of changed my opinions on her a little bit. I mean, maybe she's not so bad after all, guys. It takes her a little minute, but eventually the mother has a moment of clarity where she realizes exactly what she's done, and all hell breaks loose. Egg on the ground, Alice on the floor, open the door, I don't want that egg anymore. The woman screams, and if you look closely, you can see bugs crawling out of her mouth. Day turns to night, yet a single window in the house remains illuminated, implying that the mother had been in that room for hours. This room turns out to be the bathroom, where she helplessly puts Alice in the tub, sobbing and insisting that she's going to fix it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think Mrs. Bob the Builder here is going to be fixing shit anytime soon. Now, there's an interesting piece of monologue here that I want to actually force you guys to listen to really quick. Have a watch.
You're always gonna be Mother's dog. No one will leave you like your father did me. I will always be here, Alice.
Lore? Chad, is this lore? Never mind that. Outfit change. Quick. Outfit change. The murderer, Mother, gets all glammed up for the day and ruminates over a single egg once again. Not gonna lie though, eggs do be getting me like this a little bit. I do be acting up a little when I get on those fried eggs, to be honest. In typical abusive relative fashion, the mother loses her nurturing attitude from the night before and angrily insists that Alice eats another egg before it gets cold again. Realizing her tone may have been a little harsh, just a teensy bit, she sits down next to Alice, trying once again to reconcile with her. She apologizes for the room being so cold, but insists that she must keep it that way so that Alice can always stay fresh and she doesn't ruin her makeup. So this basically reveals that at some level, the mother knows that she is keeping a corpse in her daughter's bedroom. And she's sane enough to keep the room just cold enough to prevent that corpse from rotting. That to me is scarier than the mom being completely batshit crazy, After dolling up her house corpse a little, as one would do, the mother love bombs her dead daughter a little and leaves the room. And after that, we get a little montage of Alice going draggy drag across the floor, eggs, angry woman looking angry, Alice looking dead, more eggs, mother serving looks that have no business being in such a depressing video, mother doing a dancey dance in the snow, and then but you know what, this looks like a good time to me, I think. This was all fun and worth it. This was worthwhile. Yet another scene change commences, and now the mother is at the grocery store, carefully perusing the egg department, as I do all the time. I do this all the time. The egg department really be changing a motherfucker for real. You guys don't understand it. I'm gatekeeping the egg department. Suddenly, another mother approaches and greets the woman. The woman asks if she's Alice's mom, to which the woman corrects her and says that she's Alice's mother. The woman introduces herself as Heather's mom and expresses concern over having not seen Alice for a couple of months. She stresses the importance of a child's education, and unsurprisingly, this seems to piss Alice's mom off.
Alice took a very tragic tumble down the stairs, and she's getting better.
Poor thing. And I know that must be really hard on you.
She's getting much better. I'm taking care of her.
How did she end up taking the divorce?
Excuse me? Did you seriously just ask me about my divorce? Why does everyone everyone wants to know about Alice's father. No one ever asked about me. How I'm feeling.
I'm sorry for disturbing you. I should really get going.
Dairy is fattening. And by the choices you choose to put in your basket, I can tell Heather is very much overweight.
Well, if you didn't want people talking about your divorce before, I'm sure they're talking about it now. Back at the house, Alice seems to be taking bed rotting to a whole new level while the phone begins to ring. Alice's father, David, leaves a voice message. He's had enough of the bullshit and is ready to see his daughter again. He announces that he'll be coming over to visit shortly, but Mother isn't there to take the call. Apparently, she's never heard of a cell phone before. The mother returns and orders Alice to help her unpack the groceries. Rather than unpack the groceries, however, Alice is busy unpacking the maggots in her brain. Because she's fucking dead! The mother stomps over to find Alice slumped in front of a TV, to which she reprimands her, as TV rots the brain. Speaking of rotting brains, Mother gets angrier and angrier with Alice and threatens to send her back to the roach basement, when suddenly the doorbell rings. Gasp! It's her ex-husband, and he's fulfilling his fatherly duties! Oh no! He insists on seeing his daughter, but Mother refuses. Too bad, bitch. He's coming in anyways. David stompy stomps up the stairs, Mother screams and turns into a wretched corpse, you know, usual shit. But instead of finding his daughter, he finds a room filled with spoiled eggs. And there's a joke hiding in there somewhere. I just can't think of one off the top of my head. Now here he starts to scream, asking where the fuck his daughter is. Mother says she's on punishment, as if that makes things any fucking better. God damn it. A fight breaks out between the two, ending in David pushing Mother down the stairs. I'm sorry, I know this is supposed to be a really poignant scene, but I have to point this out, just one little thing. If there's a landing, right, in the middle of the stairs, how the fuck does she proceed to roll down a second flight of stairs? Like, she would have to turn about 90 degrees there. Like, did she stop halfway just to roll herself down the stairs a second time for added comedic effect? God, I'm so fucking confused. While the mother lays on the foot of the stairs, David approaches his daughter, but when he does, her head comes flying off. And this is when he screams, "What the fuck?" a lot. And honestly, same. High-key relatable. Party time's over. Mother quite literally stabs David in the right ass cheek, which somehow kills him immediately. The mother has one of her woman moments and screams about how he was never a father to Alice and you know, kicks him around a couple of times. Meanwhile, Alice's head is just chilling, you know, as severed heads do. They do be chilling for real. Well, it's been a stressful day of stabbing her ex-husband to death and, you know, trying to reason with the rotting corpse in her house. So Mother grabs herself a cigarette and starts blaming her ex for all of her problems. And the Hallmark Channel's been real quiet since this film dropped. Family dinner time! It's family dinner time! Get the hamburger helper, everyone. Our girl gets dolled up in white for this special occasion, cleans up the house, and brings out the fancy chairs. And somehow she miraculously manages to reattach Alice's severed head. Good job, very nice, very impressed. And she has this monologue about using her finest china, most expensive makeup, fanciest chairs, and how in love she is with David. And she's saying all of this as if David is alive and well, sitting in front of her and just taking this all in. And there's a moment too where she talks about the dress that she's wearing, how she wore it 15 years ago and it still fits her perfectly because she's such a skinny icon. And to quote her directly, she says, "Just like that other bitch." Uh-oh. The perspective changes, and now we can see things through Mother's eyes. To her, her family is still alive and well, sitting directly across from her, enjoying their delicious meal of peas and eggs. She takes another drag of a cigarette when the hallucination of Alice interjects, stating that she thought she quit smoking. Boy, oh boy. Well, let me tell you, you better not come between a bitch and her cigarettes, because that's when all hell is going to break loose.
Mother's gonna smoke this one. And then guess what? She's gonna chain smoke the rest of the fucking pack all fucking night, okay? I don't mind throwing you back into the basement. You'll understand when you become a mother yourself one day. Now, you see, losing a daughter, that's the most painful thing I've ever felt. But I'm glad I'll never lose you, my sweet, sweet Alice.
Now, the reason why I played that clip out is because of an interesting piece of monologue there. Losing a daughter, that's the most painful thing I've ever felt. But I'm glad I'll never lose you. And if you notice, the family picture that fell off of the wall was of another girl entirely. So this basically confirms that the Alice sitting across from her isn't even her real daughter. That does actually get elaborated on in the second film, by the way, which I highly encourage you guys to check out. Well, anyways, in a poetic and totally not intentional turn of events, one of the cigarettes magically causes the house to catch on fire, and then the mother runs out in the middle of the street singing Kumbaya, which is so iconic. I love that. She's just screaming bloody murder, begging the neighbors to come outside and help her. And what's funny is you can actually see in one of the houses, you know, the curtains move because someone was peeking out the window a little bit, and they just said, "Nuh-uh, nope. Not today. I'm gonna pop a Benadryl and I'm gonna go take a nap on the couch. No thanks." But in all seriousness though, it seems like this is not the first time that neighbors have had to deal with her shenanigans, which is a very interesting plot point there. The mother drags Alice's corpse outside with her head still miraculously attached. Holy shit, how does she do it? Like, what they be putting in those eggs? Am I right? Anyways, she cries about how no one came to help and exclaims that her daughter is dead before the film comes to a close. All this just to finally come to that realization, huh? Okay, wow, where do I even begin with this one? Well, first and foremost, I just want to say that there are certain parts of this that are scarily specific and, dare I say, accurate, which makes me fear that whoever wrote this story might have implemented some elements of truth in there. And needless to say, it's perfectly horrified me after watching it. So good job. You made soupy soup uncomfortable. Good job. Great job. Now, immediately what comes to mind for me with the mother, actually, is the existence of cyclical trauma. Because there's just no fucking way that infidelity in a marriage is going to lead to a woman acting that fucking crazy. And yes, while it's very clear based on the ending of the film that her first daughter passed away, I don't even think that alone would cause some type of psychotic break like this either. It's giving the energy of the straw that broke the camel's back, in my opinion. And I went to the comments section, actually, of this video to see if there was any more information I could gather about the mother's childhood. And the only thing mentioned by the creator was that some of these secrets would actually be revealed in the next episode, or I guess the next film. Without spoiling anything, however, the next episode doesn't really get into the mother's childhood, so we're kind of left to wonder about that one a little bit. I meant to say wonder, by the way. I don't know why I said wander. Yeah, we're wandering about it. We're just tiptoeing around this subject. Ow. Ooh, it's like stepping on eggshells, huh? See what I did there? I also find this woman's obsession with perfectionism to be quite interesting. She's hyper fixated on remaining skinny, her fake daughter remaining skinny, and being called mother, and only mother, like, to the point where I don't even know what this character's real name is, which is honestly quite terrifying. It's also very interesting to me how the mother seems to be mentally trapped in the 1950s. I don't know if this was just an aesthetic choice by the creator, but the fact that she only listens to music from the early 1900s and dresses like a 1950s housewife and has very warped views about her image makes me think that she's almost trying to imitate an older person that might have influenced her early on in life. Perhaps a parent, dare I say it. The potential for child abuse is also kind of hinted at towards the end of the film when she says something to Alice along the lines of, "You'll understand when you're a mother one day." So this is what motherhood is like to her. This is literally all that it is. It's all she knows. Motherhood is cruelty, motherhood is perfection, and yes, to her, motherhood is to live vicariously through her daughter. Because to her, Alice is not another person, she's property. Also, the use of love bombing on the mothers end here is so tragic and yet so real. And oftentimes this is how abuse of all forms can persist for such a long time. Usually the abuser will either physically or verbally beat the victim down into submission until they're too weak to fight back. And when all is said and done, they try to tidy things up by being super nice to that person, right? And this is exactly how Stockholm Syndrome develops. And if you guys ever get around to watching the second film, you'll see how that last part ties into the story quite a bit. But what scares me the most, and I said this before, is that while it was proven, towards the end of the film that the mother was experiencing some form of psychosis where she literally thought that her family was still alive sitting in front of her at the dinner table, right? But despite all that, she had enough self-awareness to keep her daughter's room cold so that her corpse would not rot as quickly. And how is someone going to have the common sense to do that if they're under the impression that their daughter is still alive? I know compartmentalizing it is still a thing, guys, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I think that in this case, that part just really creeped me out quite a bit. It's like she's able to switch in and out of psychosis at will based on what's convenient for her, which implies some level of knowledge as far as what she did. It's also the fact that she just casually sets a cigarette down on the dining table in the middle of family dinner when the house, not so surprisingly, catches on fire. She doesn't even bother grabbing her father or her ex-husband and try to carry them out of the house, right? This bitch does a whole victory lap around the neighborhood before she comes to the brilliant realization that her daughter is dead, but not because she threw her down into the basement for a roach party. Oh, no, not at all. So yeah, if this animator doesn't get more recognition soon, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna fucking do, okay? I am going to do a victory lap around my neighborhood, and I'm gonna scream very loudly for one and all. And you don't want to see Soupy when they're angry, do you? Anyways, thanks for listening to my yap session once again, guys, and until next time, goodbye, my little roaches.